Hello, I'm Stuart Bloor, late afternoon, and I've just set up for an overnighter. I love this type of fishing. I haven't done much for a while. Having said that, I have been preoccupied, in the nicest sense of the word, with canal perch. But it's time to hit a different sort of a venue, different type of fishing, and a different species. The rods are out. I'm looking forward to what lies ahead. Can you hear that? That's a little grebe. I can see a pair of them just in front of me. I'm looking forward to what lies ahead. I don't know what the moon's doing tonight, but we recently had a partial eclipse, and that's my wife there that you can see. She got the card with the two little holes in it and watched it through that. I held my camera up to the sun, not looking at it of course, and I managed to get a decent picture. But as I say, I'm not sure what the moon's doing tonight, but what I want to hear is my bite alarms going off, indicating that I'm into a fish. I always look forward to the start of an overnighter and what lies ahead. It's now the early hours of the morning and we've had this unexpected storm brew up. Typical British weather, eh? The rains came in first, then the wind picked up and the gusts were quite something, and my shelter blew away twice. I managed to get it though, peg it in. I've had to tie it in now. Unfortunately the ground isn't ideal for pegging, but I've done an improvisation job, the sort of thing I've done many times before in my angling life, and no doubt I'll have to do again. I'm just hoping that it holds firm this time, and also that my pod doesn't blow over, because if that goes then I've got issues there of course. But at the moment I'm absolutely soaking wet and I'm trying to dry out, which of course I'm not going to, but hey, that's fishing for you. I'm still enjoying it and I love a fish. Even in these conditions I'd love to get one on the bank. What an incredible night that was. Just after I finished filming on the bank, I had an almighty wind come in. Not only did the shelter rip out of the ground, but it smashed to pieces. It left me exposed to the elements. It was pouring down a rain. It was as if someone had a hose pipe on me. Anyway, I had no option but to pack away. It took me about an hour, a long hour as well. Absolutely frozen. My hands were cold, my toes were cold. It really was hard going, so to speak. Anyway, it started to snow as well, so that gives you an idea of the conditions. Eventually, of course, I got back to the car, got home, but even on the way back, I'm thinking about my next journey. It didn't deter me, of course. Anyway, Mike from New York, who's a regular viewer of my videos. Hello, Mike, if you're watching this one. He's asked me to mention or to talk about carp leads, the leads that I've used for carp fishing. So I've selected 3, and here they are. A common lead, one that anglers use who are fishing at distance, is this one, like an Exocet missile, isn't it, travelling through the air. And it's streamlined, and as you can see, it's designed for casting distances. So I think if you're fishing like a heli rig, that type of thing, then this is perfect for getting distances. And secondly, you've got what is probably the most commonly used carp lead, a flattened pair, and this is the one that I use more than any other type of lead put together. You're not going to get great distances on it, but it's a great lead when you want to position a bait, say on a slope that's not too sharp. You want to position it on a slope, that type of thing. Perfect. I use this a lot. It suits me even on silt. It doesn't go too much into the silt, it sits nicely. So that's a common lead. Then you've got the variation on that, which is an inline pear-shaped lead, flattened pear, and as you can see there, you've got the line that goes right the way through it, so the swivel tucks into that, and then of course off there you've got a bit of a rubber on there that's just come off. You've got a rubber on the end, and then you will have a leader or your line coming through. And the advantage with this is it puts you in direct contact with the fish, so you don't have the swivel as you do with that type of lead, so that the line passes through the top of it. You're in direct contact with the fish, and also that lead's good for if you're using PVA bags, so you can keep it inside the PVA bag nice and compact. So those three leads are the ones that I use the most. But as I've said, it's the flattened pair that invariably finds its way casting out into the lake that I'm fishing. I'm back on the bank for a morning session. I was here at first light, beautiful sunrise, it's still very windy. I'm glad I haven't got a bivvy up today. I'm sheltered behind some trees, some bushes as you can see behind me, so that's taking a lot of the wind off. I've just had a hook pull. I suppose you could say from the positive side of things it was a tench, so at least it wasn't my target species, but it would have been good to get a fish on the bank, the first fish of the week as far as this video is concerned, but I've recast and I'm hopeful. No more tench after that last one, no more fish at all. In fact, I blanked. Anyway, I'm out again, I'm doing an overnighter. This is a brand new venue for me, although having said that, I did drop on earlier in the year just to do a short session for perch on my way to the New Saints, funny enough, because it's in Shropshire. But this is my first serious session. I know there are carp in here. I haven't got a clue as to how many, how big they go. It's a brand new venue for the club, so it's quite exciting, isn't it? The baits are out, I'm here for the night, I'm looking forward to it. Nothing at all during the night. Mind you, and I think I'm speaking correctly here, it's a 200-year-old estate lake. It has had trout in it before, it hasn't been coarse fished, it's just been taken on by a club, and I'll tell you the venue in the written part of the blog. And so it's only recently started to open up for coarse anglers, and just this week for night fishing. So when I saw it was available for nights, I got on there straight away, and there were just two of us on last night, and the other guy's over there, Martin. I shall be going round later when I pack away to see how he's got on. Anyway, I think it's going to be a challenge. It's nice water, but above all, as far as I'm concerned, it's not always about catching the fish, is it? It's about being in pleasant surroundings, and I've certainly enjoyed this. Having said that though, I do need to catch a fish for this week's blog, so I've got one session left after this one, and I'm going to head somewhere that I think you would describe as a runs water. I need to get some fish on the bank. What you can see behind me, Ramsons, or as it's more commonly known, wild garlic. A bed of it, it's a massive area of green behind me. Now very soon the little white flowers will come through, and the thing with wild garlic, it is, as it says, garlic, and it rained a lot during the night, and what happens is you smell the garlic in the air. In fact, I wish I had smell-o-vision now, because you could appreciate what I'm talking about. Beautiful, one of our natural wildflowers that's always a pleasure to see at this time of the year. It's the same day. I've been home, had something to eat, had a shower, done some work, kept the gear in the car, and here I am on a different venue. This is the Runs Water that I told you about. Anyway, I'm looking forward to tonight. I have had 3 blanks, although in fairness to myself, the first one was a bit of an aborted disaster, wasn't it? The second one, it was just a short morning session on a place where I need to spend more time, really, if I am going to catch. And of course, earlier today, last night, the third outing, well, that was a brand new place. So those are my excuses. No excuses tonight. This is a place that I've never blanked on. I'm looking forward to getting some fish, finally, at last, on the bank. And my first carp of the week is a chub. Quite a nice one. I do like stillwater chub fishing. Anyway, get this one back, and hopefully I'll get a carp on the bank. My second fish is another chub. Well, good morning. I had my wish come true anyway, to get some fish on the bank. If I say during the night that my alarms were silent for no more than 2 minutes maximum, that's not an exaggeration. It was run after run after run. Also caught quite a few chub as well. Unfortunately, none of the carp were big, they were all small. This isn't really the sort of water that's to my taste. It's only because I wanted to catch a fish. There are some decent-ish carp in here, but unfortunately I didn't get into them. It got so bad, inverted commas, that I had to reel in at some point in the early hours of the morning, get a few hours kip, and here I am up at first light and the rods are back out. I'm not complaining though. I lost that carp. It would have been nice to have ended the week, ended the video cradling a decent fish. Never mind though, we have to look at the big picture of life, don't we? And as far as that's concerned, a lost fish doesn't even hit the radar, does it? Anyway, I'll be back next week. Out and about yourself. Tight lines.